Anybody can practice Sunya. You change your life, you change your business, you change your future. So we practice non-differentiation. Whether you are Hindu, whether you are Muslim, whether you are Christian, you are Buddhist, it doesn't matter.
आप यहाँ आए हो तो मन को समझिए और उसको ट्रेन करके जरूर जाना.
So we train the mind by reverse counting. Which country practice the Sunya first? It's India.
दुख और सुख दोनों अपने बच्चे दोनों को संभालना, लेकिन इसके लिए आपको ट्रेनिंग की जरूरत है.
Good morning DXN India and good morning DXN World. Welcome to our new show. I am your host Sunya Saga from Mumbai. So this show is based on the concept of Sunya. The concept of Sunya is a very old one and our dear founder, CEO, Dr. Lim Xiujin have been practicing it all his life. उनका ये मानना है कि शून्य जो प्रैक्टिस करता है वो अपने आजू बाजू वालों के लिए, वो अपने एनवायरनमेंट के लिए, वो अपनी दुनिया के लिए एक कांस्टेंट सोर्स ऑफ पीस एंड प्रॉस्पेरिटी बन जाता है. शून्य प्रैक्टिस करना तो काफ़ी आसान है, बट उसको डेली प्रैक्टिस करना इज द की. फोकसिंग ऑन योर नॉर्मल ब्रीदिंग पैटर्न एंड रिवर्स काउंटिंग आर द टू मेन एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ प्रैक्टिसिंग शून्य. मैंने सबसे पहली बार शून्य के बारे में तब सीखा जब मैं जैन 2020 में तेलंगाना सिद्धिपेट शून्य रिट्रीट के लिए विजिट की थी. एंड देन द लॉकडाउन हैपेंड इन मार्च. आई रिमेंबर सीइंग दिस एज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी to practice Shunya and attain peace and stability, basically being kind to my mind. Then we came up with the simple idea of why not start a show for sharing our experiences of all other various Shunyatis all around the world, to learn and to cherish them and to also support and motivate them. So first and foremost, let's invite my co-host and also the mastermind behind the show, a dynamic leader, a successful networker, and also a determined Shunya practitioner. Welcome Mr. Pradeep Kumar sir from Kerala. Good morning sir.
Good morning and thank you Fahila ji, and thanks to all viewers. Yes, I am also a DXN distributor as well as a Shunya practitioner. I have got an opportunity to learn Shunya directly from our beloved CEO and Dr. Rajesh Savera. Shunya helped me a lot in focusing my DXN business. There are plenty of successful networkers become more powerful after doing regular Shunya practices. All of them have their own stories to tell you. Stories play a crucial role in your life. They weave the fabric of our life. There are 7 billion people in the world and thus 7 billion stories. They inspire us and motivate us.
Welcome to our new show, Sunya Saga, जहाँ पर हम आपको मिलाएंगे दुनिया के बहुत सारे शून्यती से जिन्होंने अपनी लाइफ में शून्य प्रैक्टिस किया और यहाँ पर आके हमारे साथ अपना अनुभव और अपनी कहानियाँ शेयर करेंगे.
स्टोरीज यानी कहानियाँ हर किसी को सुनना पसंद है. उसे भी ज्यादा जरूरी होता है इनसे सीख लेना. एक इंसान की जिंदगी कुछ नहीं पर कहानियों का एक पर्दा होता है जहाँ वो अपना गलतियों से सीखते हैं और अपना लाइफ में सक्सेस पाते हैं.
I totally agree with you, Pradeep sir. यहाँ शून्य सागा में the main aim is that you learn from these stories, the true stories, जो आपको motivate करेंगी, आपको inspire करेंगी, so that you become a better version for yourself. So without taking much time, Pradeep sir, let's invite our first guest for the show.
Of course, Fahilaji, an Ayurveda doctor, is a well-known wellness physician, a counselor, and author of the famous book My Journey with DXN, which is the biography of our beloved founder and CEO, Dr. Lim Seo-jin, and he is also the director of Shunyati International Foundation.
On this blessed occasion of Teachers' Day, we have with us this dynamic personality who practiced Shunya with Dr. Lim, and he strives to spread the practice of Shunya in the entire world. जब मार्च में लॉकडाउन हुआ, तो he started looking at this in a very unique way. He thought, why not start this 21-day Shunya retreat from home, so that घर बैठे बैठे हम हमारे mind के doors खोल सकते हैं.
Exactly. He's a classic example of how practicing Shunya gives you peace and prosperity in your life. So let us join our hands together to welcome and hear more from our esteemed guest, Dr. Rajesh Savera.
Wow, that was a good one. Thank you, Favila. Thank you, Pradeep, for inviting me on your first show, the Sunya Saga.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, and I hope you both are also doing good.
Great, super,
Yeah.
sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Okay. So hope we can get you back to Siddipet for the next level of Shunya training soon, immediately after the lockdown.
Sure, sure. That's in the cards. We have planned to continue our Shunya trainings not only in Siddipet, but we'll have retreats now pan India, and we are also coming up with a Shunya center near Pune, and it's between Pune and Mumbai. So that will be another place where people can gather, and many more places we'll see Shunya centers opening up.
Yeah, we are also eagerly waiting for the after the COVID period, and we will be starting many sessions from Telangana and all across the country. All right.
Absolutely.
So without taking much time, shall we go to the questions directly, sir?
Absolutely. You can go ahead.
Sir, your first question is on the screen. Sir, we would love to know a little bit about your childhood and what inspired you to pursue Ayurveda as your career of choice.
Okay, a good question. My childhood, it was, as doctor says, Dr. Lim actually resonated with my childhood also, because even my childhood was a tough one. Life, where we say that it's always about struggle, and through struggle you try to evolve yourself and come out. Are you going to translate this in English, Hindi, or I just keep on speaking and then I have to speak in Hindi too, or Faila will do that?
Faila will do that.
Okay. So let me finish this up, and then you can summarize and you can tell the same. Okay. So life was tough, definitely, for a family that left Bombay and came and settled in Pune. And we were 4 children, and dad was working with as a laborer for a company in Pune. But one thing he knew, and my mother knew, that education was the key for the ending of suffering. So I think that was inborn in her, that ignorance can bring suffering and education can relieve suffering. So we were given good education, and thanks to the Christian missionary school there where we studied, and we got education, and then we pursued on with our life in our own way. And being a doctor was always on the cards, because I'd seen how my mother and father were dependent on doctors when it came up to the health problems that our family suffered from, and we had to rely on that. And so I thought that that would be one way in which I could help to build a career. But what happened was surprisingly, surprisingly, I could not get good marks in my 12th, and I had no other options but to either let go of my MBBS, which definitely I could not get through. And I had the second option was to do an Indian system of medicine, that is Ayurveda, which I pursued because I did not get into MBBS. I had to do BAMS, and that's how Ayurveda was not my choice, but it later on became the best choice.
So that's wonderful to know, sir. So this makes us understand that you just need to go with the flow of your life, and it turns out, and just have to have belief. And I can actually understand from the story that how though it was not the first choice, but again, जैसे आपने बोला कि पहली choice तो नहीं थी, but time चलते चलते वो आपके लिए आपकी best choice हो गई.
That's
And
right.
that is a wonderful thing. And I guess coming from a humble background, जब हम एक humble background से आते हैं तो it gives us a lot of responsibilities and also the value for life and value for education.
Yeah, and you know, Faila, remember Dr. Lim always tells us the lotus always blooms in the puddle of all the suffering, or you can say all the dirty waters or mud, and from there only the lotus bloom. That's the nature of the lotus, you know. So we are all actually have the potential to bloom. And Dr. Lim, that is why stresses on the fact that if you are suffering from anything, poverty, sickness, whatever it is, that is the point where you're ready to bloom. You know, just need that realization that here is the time that has come for me to bloom, and here is the situation that I am in right now that is going to help me to bloom.
Exactly. So, बिल्कुल, I do definitely agree with you, Dr. Sir, Dr. Rajesh Savera sir, what you're saying, that जो भी circumstances होता है, the main aim is to keep going forward with it, not to sit and cry and ask कि मुझे ही क्यों, मेरे साथ ही क्यों. The main thing is that you keep trying over it, and you give your best in the situation, and definitely life will turn out. So this brings us to the next second question, sir. That we all know that your first meet with Dr. Lim, that is very well described in the foreword of the book, My Journey with DXN. Okay, and we understood from that. But we actually want to know कि आपने सबसे पहली बार शून्य practice के बारे में Dr. Lim से कब सुना? When did you first practice it, and what was your thought process behind the entire thing?
When I was traveling to Siddipet, you know, when doctor was trying to acquire land for a factory, that was not also in the cards. You know, factory was also not on the cards. Doctor actually came down there because there was some conference, and I happened to meet there because I wanted to meet doctor for the books content. You know, so I remember that before the 25th anniversary, going there. And after writing the book, I got to know Dr. Lim very closely, and I realized there was something that was driving Dr. Lim and driving DXN. And I was always inclined towards knowing myself, and that has been my journey all my life. You know, that everything from my early days in childhood, I always had this question: who am I, and what am I here for? What is my purpose of life? But I kept on inquiring that. I have been to different religious practices, done everything, and I respect every religion because every religion teaches us the same thing, that at the end we are humans, and our connection with another human is should be human, and there is one God, and everybody tells the same thing. So the only thing was the means to achieve that peace and within us. You know, I have gone on my own journey to meditate, tried all the experiments with myself, with using different techniques. But when I met Dr. Lim and we started discussing things, I found there was something that was resonating. And then at one point, when Dr. Lim was doing a session on the concept of shunya basically was, when we were discussing, it was about not getting adulterated with so many things. And we like this thing, you know, I liked it completely, that many a times we are not able to give a perfect self. You know, we are not able to give something perfectly because something is adulterating us, and our own understanding about us is always adulterated with so many things. And doctor gave a simple solution to this, and he said that there should be no form and no name in something when you're understanding something, because form and name can change your perception and ideas and concepts. I was amazed with that. And then the whole journey began, that when he introduced me to a practice that he was doing for 50 years, and he told me that this was the way he reset his mind, I was really impressed, because it was a practice that comes down from generations and generations. And to be proud of, it comes from the land that we are all from, India itself. That was another surprise. And he told me that it is about practice. It's not about studying and being intellectual. It's about practicing and getting your mind to reset yourself. That was it. And that's when we started exploring. I started practicing. I don't usually believe whatever anybody says. I put it into practice. And once I put it into practice and experience it, then nobody can change my belief into that. And I did that, and I realized that a simple practice of reverse counting, observing the breath, and being there still can actually bring you to a state of samadhi, a balance that people so much glorify that they have achieved samadhi. And I thought that here is a practice without any adulteration of name and form that can bring anyone, I mean that, anyone into a state of samadhi. I think that is amazing. Faila?
Basically, yes, sir. Wonderful insight. So basically, sir, we learned from your experience that how you resonated with Dr. Lim's idea of the shunya, and also along with that, how you practiced it upon yourself. Just talking about it or listening about it is not enough. Practicing about it, practicing it, and implementing it in daily lives is what turns the page around. So that's wonderful to know. Sir, this brings us to our third question. That is कि I actually want to know कि अगर आपकी ऐसी कोई कमजोरी थी या कोई weakness था, something, everyone has their own strengths and everyone has their own weaknesses. So was there any weakness that changed into your strength when you started practicing Shunya?
Yes, surely. Shunya, I always say, can reset you to become the same fearless person that you were born with. I had a lot of fear and anxiety when it comes up to, doing certain things. I had this anxious mind, which used to always comment before my act. And it keeps on bothering me. And when I realized with the Shunya practice, I was able to see that. I was able to see a mind that was acting in a weird way. Even right now, when I sit for practice, it's not changed. It doesn't change in a year or two. It keeps on having its basic nature, and it keeps on bothering you in the same way. But now you know how to manage it. You don't need to suppress it, or you don't need to oppress it. Now you know the way to manage it. So at many a times when the mind keeps on bothering me, because my basic nature is to worry, but now I know how to manage my worry. I know how to somehow use it for my benefit. I know how to channelize it. And that's only because now I see my mind as something that is not me, but separate from me. I can use it. And when you can use your mind in that way, I've seen a definite transformation in my way of managing my stress, my anxiety, my delivery. When it comes up to things not working right, I do get a little worried, but I'm able to manage and overcome myself out of that situation. It has also opened up a very, very different paradigm of understanding, where now I see practice as more important than gaining knowledge. So I now put action first before information, because I know with action will come information. First, I used to think that it is information that leads to action, but I realize now that it's action that leads to an experience that becomes information. So that's how the journey has transformed me a lot. And you people have seen me evolve over the time. It's not that I'm talking about it. Everybody who has seen me, because I have been in the public eye for almost 8 years, and they would vouch that how I have transformed myself. And definitely at the last 2 years, it is because of Shunya.
So definitely sir, ये आंखों के सामने एक चलता हुआ आप बहुत बड़े एग्जाम्पल हो, and we actually look up to you. हम आपकी तरफ ही देखते हैं that we have seen the transformation, the way, the flawless way आप आके चीजें हमारे साथ शेयर करते हो. So every session of yours एक it's like a learning experience. हमें हर टाइम कुछ एक नया सीखने मिलता है. and that is, I guess, very important. आपने एक यहाँ पर बात बोली कि action is very important than information. पहले काम करके देख तो लो, पहले उस चीज़ को एक्सपीरियंस तो कर लो. इन्फॉर्मेशन आपके साथ टाइम से टाइम आप इन्फॉर्मेशन उस पर गेन कर सकते हो. तो वो भी एक काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है जो हम यहाँ से एक पिकअप कर सकते हैं. So this idea of Sunya Saga is basically कि we take up little lessons from our Shunyatis who will come here and who will speak about it. जो एक और बात पहले कही गई थी about Nama and Rupa, that हमको एक दोनों चीज़ों से associate नहीं करना है. Dr. Lim also teaches us that I remember when we were discussing with Mr. Pradeep sir, I just called him आप मेरे गुरुजी हो sir, and he told no one is a guruji. इन शून्य द बेसिक टीचिंग ही हमारा ये है कि यहाँ पर हमें किसी को बचाना नहीं है, यहाँ पर हमें किसी को कुछ सिखाना नहीं है, हमें बस एग्जिस्ट करना है और बेसिकली हमें अपने आप को जानना है, अंदर अपने सर्च करना है. एंड यही सब करने से शायद हमें लाइफ में आगे बैलेंस और स्टेबिलिटी मिल जाए.
Yes, that's right, Faila. When you have to balance yourself, you have to look at you and the things around you, and then you can balance yourself. If you want to just think that I put a blindfold and I want to balance myself, it doesn't work like that, because you don't know how the road is. So the most important thing is to open your eyes, your awareness. So having the right view is a very, very important act in balancing yourself out. And in relationships, in your own personal life, you will realize that most of the things that we suffer from is because of imbalance, where we are not able to understand the other person and the other person does not understand us. That's when relationship problems come in. When it comes up to health, we are not able to understand what is good for us and what is not good for us. That brings it about an imbalance, and that again causes diseases. Even in the community, when one community is not able to understand another community, because there is no balance. The only way we can strike balance in the world is by striking balance within ourselves. And the first thing begins with Shunya practice. When we realize that every breath that goes in and goes out can be witnessed, can be observed with complete awareness, with your mind engaged in focus and complete concentration in observing the act of going in, coming out of the breath, you will realize there comes a point where you strike balance within yourself. And that is what we call samatha, a state of complete balance. And at that point, when you have come into complete balance with your own self, suddenly there is an insight, a kind of you develop a wisdom. You realize things. Oh, everything is so same. These breath is going in, going out. It's so subtle. I was unnecessarily trying to force myself onto things. It just happens. I don't have to do anything. Then you realize, and the wisdom keeps on flowing, and that is called vipassana. So you see, samatha and vipassana, they lead you to a state called samadhi. Samadhi means you have struck the balance, and from samadhi that you have achieved for yourself, you experience a thing called peace, serenity, a calmness, a very different feeling. Suddenly all your organs, they start now to experience the same peace and calmness that your mind experiences, because it's a mind that drives everything, every organ, every function. And when your mind is at peace, everything below it, under its control, will go and experience the peace. With peace, the organs, they start having a kind of energy, extra energy. That's the state where you reach a state of ecstasy. You start feeling amazing energy, enthusiasm. That is why every practicing shunyati will experience always an excitement. Look at Dr. Lim. Even at 60, he's super excited. Last few days, I think yesterday, we were discussing Ayan Pradeep. He's still a young child. That's because he has this extra energy that comes automatically, and there is a reasoning for it. It's just not some fantasy that we're talking about. Then where you realize this energy has to be used up, and we go and interact with the society. That's what we call the bigger practice. This was personal practice, the smaller practice. Then we use this and go out in society, interact with the people, find their problems, try to solve that. They would try to not accept us, they would reject us, they would say something to us, but we don't get bothered, because we know the practice of not getting distracted, disturbed. We know how to bring back and pay our complete attention on the act that we are doing. And then you see you're also striking a balance with the society. So when you're able to bring samatha vipassana in yourself, samatha vipassana in the society, samadhi in yourself, samadhi in the society, you have struck your balance with an individual, with the society, with everything around. And that is the ultimate realization, that we are not separated from anybody, we are just one and the same. Faila.
So, सर का यही कहना था यहाँ पर that you have to believe in yourself, you have to keep practicing, and जो wisdom है, जो छोटी छोटी चीज़ें होती है, for example यहाँ पर अब हमने मास्क लगाना चालू किया है इंडिया में since 6 years, and I hope everyone is practicing that. So the simple practice of keeping a mask on your face makes you realize that every breath that strikes the surface of the mask and then comes in and comes out, that makes you self aware about the importance of breathing and how natural the process is. And if we start realizing, if we start acknowledging and appreciating this beauty of life, there is actually one statement, sir, that you said that every breath is a life in itself. तो यही एक छोटी सी चीज़ की आपकी हर एक सांस में आपकी ज़िंदगी बसती है, एंड यू जस्ट हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. और ये छोटी छोटी चीज़ों से ही जो बड़ा जो विजडम है वो फ्लो होता है. एंड ऑल्सो द इम्पॉर्टेंस कि आपको लाइफ में दोनों चीज़ों में बैलेंस करना है. बैलेंस अबाउट समाधि कैसे हम समाधि कैसे द स्टेट ऑफ समाधि रीच करने के लिए जो बैलेंस मेंटेन करना है, दैट अगेन कम्स विद द प्रैक्टिस दैट यू डू डेली, एंड ऑफ कोर्स इट कम्स विद द डेली प्रैक्टिस. So for our viewers, हम ये एक और बात बताना चाहते हैं that अब तक there has been 5 successful batches who have been to सिद्धिपेट तेलंगाना for the session. और हमारे पास हमारे एक और ऐसे शून्यति का experience है जो वहाँ गए थे, and we would like to show it on the screen.
गुड मॉर्निंग, मेरा नाम है संतोष देवकर, पुणे महाराष्ट्र. जनवरी 2020 में हमने शून्य का कैंप किया है, और शून्य कैंप हमें सिखाया है डॉक्टर लिंग और डॉक्टर राजेश सवेरा के थ्रू हमने सब सीखा हुआ है. और शून्य कैंप करने के बाद अभी तक मैं डेली शून्य का प्रैक्टिस करता हूं. और शून्य का प्रैक्टिस करने का फ़ायदा हमें यह हुआ, एक मेंटल कामनेस आता है, और टीम के जो भी प्रॉब्लम्स नज़र आते हैं वो प्रॉब्लम तो बाहर है ही नहीं, हमें अपने अंदर ही प्रॉब्लम को ढूंढना है. और बिजनेस में काफ़ी तरक्की हो रही है. और मुझे तो लगता है कि सभी लोगों ने डेली शून्य का प्रैक्टिस करना चाहिए. जो शून्य प्रैक्टिस करेगा मिलियनेयर तो पक्का बनेगा ही बनेगा, और टीम का प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएगा. बिजनेस में अच्छी बढ़ोतरी आ रही है, तो शून्य का प्रैक्टिस सभी लोग करें. थैंक यू.
So, sir, the next question is based on the video which we shown already. So, how can practice Shunya instill prosperity in our life in terms of financial aspect? Can you explain the concept?
Yeah, I would definitely love to explain the concept, but you know what my next question would be, because you're my best example. When we met, I think Pradeep, I was sitting on the grass. You remember the artificial grass,
Yeah,
and you came down and you asked me, "Sir, what is this Shunya?" Because you were just new, and we were wearing this kimono, and we were talking, and you were very inquisitive. That inquisitiveness, that curiosity of a child that you had, that is what we call Shunya. Shunya comes with curiosity to know what is happening. You were not interested in anything. You were just interested in what is this? Can I wear this dress? What is this happening? Because you knew you were in a group of people who were doing something different. And without any hesitation, you just blindly accepted it. You stayed there. I think you paid 2 times to stay in this retreat, without any questions asked. You were just having faith in what these people were doing, and it made sense without asking your rational mind to question, doubt. That was one thing, Pradeep, that put you on a journey to start things. Okay, that I leave it to you when you share your story. But why, as a psychotherapist, as a counselor, why do I believe that the practice as simple as just observing the breath, looking at your breath, can bring prosperity? It sounds very weird, because prosperity, you need to have motivation, you need to have a lot of action, you need to work, you need to do something that you are involved in to achieve results. And here you're talking about doing nothing. You're just talking about sitting and practicing a count from 99 to 0 and achieve prosperity. It looks like really weirdo. It looks something very, something kind of very fishy. How does that happen? Something kind of a magical or mystical experience? But let me give you the rationale behind it. How does this work? Understand, your mind is everything. The state of your mind creates your world. One who has a very, very clear mind can get things done very clearly. One whose mind is already backed up with so many stuff, is carrying all the luggage, is completely muddy, is not going to deliver the best results. It's the best example I always give. A knife that is sharp can cut very easily. A knife that is blunt will just not cut the way you want. Your things will not be perfect the way you want. That talks about the role of the mind, which is clear, which definitely happens with the mind practice of shunya. Mind becomes more sharper. Your attention, your focus, your concentration, everything. I am listing down 99 benefits of personal benefits that you experience after the practice of shunya. But simple thing is, your mind is just getting perfect, and the job it does perfectly. Now when you set out with a perfect mind to do any act, your delivery, your result of the act is always good. And with good results coming out, you keep on doing it again and again, and you just keep on doing better and better. Every time you do better, you progress. With every progression, you actually also, what you do is you achieve prosperity, because progress is basically prosperous, being prosperous. Because if you're going to say that a child is progressing in his health, that means he's prospering in his health. Progress means to prosper. And when you progress in your practice, you're actually also progressing in your other material life also. And there is a very close connection between both. Why does this happen? What is the reason that this happens? Because every time you pay attention, you pay complete awareness, you look at your breath and you count in a reverse order without getting distracted, you realize that this breath that going in and out is so amazing. That is the real thing. That is what you are. And you start seeing so much. People hardly even are aware of their breath. Now here, when you sit and you count, you realize, oh my god, there is so much to life, and I'm worried about these small things. This puts you on a journey, and then you become a machine that doesn't get distracted, and it definitely goes out and achieves what it sets out for. And that is why every shunyati who sets targets, practices shunya, works without getting distracted, achieves his goal, and that's where prosperity comes.
Thank you, sir. Last.
Faila, we cannot hear you. Your mic is muted, Faila.
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, sir. So thank you for the आपने एक बहुत सिंपल तरीके में हमको बताया कि कैसे keep practicing शून्य and it's like a knife. The one जो knife को हमेशा बार बार sharpen करता रहता है, उसी हिसाब से अगर आप distracted नहीं हो life में, so you just keep thinking about what you have to do next. You set targets for yourself. आप आपके लिए आपके goal set करते हो और उस goal को achieve करने के लिए आगे बढ़ते हो. तो फिर दुनिया में कोई भी आपके लिए डिस्ट्रैक्शन आ जाए, बड़ी से बड़ी तकलीफ आ जाए, बट यू नो दैट यू हैव द पावर इन योरसेल्फ. आपके पास अंदर से वो ताकत है. योर माइंड इज स्ट्रांग, योर बॉडी इज स्ट्रांग, माइंड और बॉडी का अच्छा कनेक्शन है, एंड देन यू गो आफ्टर दैट गोल. आई गेस आवर वेरी गुड एग्जांपल इज मिस्टर प्रदीप कुमार सर हिमसेल्फ. सो आई वुड लाइक him to share his experience with us.
Yeah, thank you. See, all of you know that last year when I met Dr. Lim and Dr. Rajesh Savera, I was just a star agent, and I was getting very few income, just less than 2,000 rupees, and I don't have much, good job during that time. But I believe the concept of shunya, and I started practicing it in regular basis. And after that, I started, spreading shunya in my state. And slowly, I understand that my works are hitting in the right place because of shunya practice. So after 1 year time, I did something in my DXN business, and now I'm getting a very good, income from DXN. I'm 100% sure. I strongly believe that I the achievement is just only because of my Shunya practice. So thanks to Savera sir, and at the same time, my sincere thanks to Dr. Lim for sharing this amazing practice. So there are plenty of people practicing Shunya in different countries. After the practice of Shunya, they are also they are improving their business in different areas. So I think, Rajesh sir, as a Shunya practitioner, you are doing Shunya across the world. So you can also give some small, uh, references, the people who enjoying in DXN business after doing Shunya practices from
Yeah,
different
sure.
countries and continents. Yeah.
Yeah, now DXN, wherever DXN is, definitely Shunya has also traveled that route. I sometimes believe that DXN was the means through which Shunya was going to reach people, because Dr. Lim had already divided the definition of DXN in terms of health, wealth, and happiness. And I think health was what the products gave, wealth the system gave. And I think so the happiness is going to come with our understanding that we are all in the one world, one family. And that is where all the happiness is come, because I don't believe there is happiness beyond a family. And if we can make this whole world into one big family, I think happiness will come. Yes, definitely. The world today, even you say Latin America, everywhere, in Latin America, then we have in USA, Philippines, where it all started, the big gatherings. That is where it started, and there are good testimonials. And we have Tina Liberty Sulto, who actually practices Shunya, and there is a whole group of people teaching Shunya. Malaysia, the you can say where Dr. Lim comes from, and he has already trained a lot of people who are practicing. We have many people who are very close to Dr. Lim, who actually became well versed with the practice of Shunya, and they're teaching. Even we have Amy, who is managing the whole Boulder Valley, one of the resorts of DXN, and where whoever visits the resort, Amy actually teaches them Shunya. So Shunya has spread across the globe. Nepal, you see, there is a great leader, Rafiq. He has been practicing and he has been promoting widely Shunya. In Nepal, we were supposed to have a gathering of almost 1,200 to 30, 2,000 people. And that gathering, because of the COVID, we could not achieve. But yes, people have started practicing. Their lives are changing. And the best example are those people that I've talked about. And this is because of one great personality that came on earth. And today, Teachers Day, as you were thanking Dr. Lim, and you were thanking me, and I would thank Dr. Lim, but we should not forget the person who actually gave us Shunya, and he was Buddha himself. And Buddha gave us the essence. He was the real teacher, and he called himself as a teacher. He always said, I am the teacher. I can teach you the subject. Whatever your subject is, you need to understand there is a way in managing and understanding the subject, and that is through the practice of Shunya. And he told us that there is a way to end suffering, and that was through Shunya. And so we on this day should really be grateful to Buddha himself, because he is the one who gave us this light, a lamp which can be used to be burn other lamps. And I always say that Shunya, as you asked me, has it spread across the world? I don't think anything has spread so fast as Shunya has spread. Even in the lockdown period, we were entering every house, and I've seen so many people practicing it. And I just recently did a seminar in Colombia. We had almost around 100 people joining in. We had I did in Latin America. We had a lot of people joining. Dr. Lim does so many sessions. Nigeria, you have been instrumental in promoting Shunya to Nigeria. India, definitely, we have so many testimonials of people practicing Shunya in India. So even in just a couple of years, Shunya has really spread far and wide. And that is all because I think it is the roadmap that Dr. Lim created with the practice of DXN. DXN became the means through which we could now bring about peace and prosperity for the whole world. Pradeep?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your insights. So the
Yes, sir.
next
And
question.
last question for the day will be that शून्यता मानसिक आहार यानी आर मेंटल हेल्थ इस पे काफी ज्यादा रोशनी डालता है. इट थ्रोज अ लॉट ऑफ लाइट ऑन इट. सो व्हाई इज दैट अ वेरी क्रूशियल एंड इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट इन टुडेज सिनेरियो?
If you remember the words of Dr. Lim, mind and body cannot be separated. Whatever you think, your body will act. Whatever your body does also affects the mind. So, this relation is there. While the world is so much engrossed in the external body factors, they are trying to enjoy their senses, do so many things. It's all externally. Internally, their minds are already disturbed. Even the COVID 19, I think so. The virus has not affected the body so much, that much, as much as it has affected the minds of people. Fear and anxiety of the virus has affected, I think so, millions of people. There's not a single person who knows about the virus and not got anxious or fearful about it. So definitely, mind is one thing that gets affected very easily, and that should be a way in which we manage that. Otherwise we will suffer from conditions like depression, anxiety. Then you can say so many conditions like schizophrenia, personality disorders, insomnia, Alzheimer's, dementia, the psychosis. This list does not seem to end. We have children suffering from ADHD, that's attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. We have children suffering from, they're born with so many mental illnesses and behavioral traits. Teenagers going through behavioral traits of low self confidence, low self esteem. People are giving up so easily. The will and the vigor to fight back has gone down. People are not able to understand that it's all to do with the mind, and there is no way that people are able to achieve that, even with so much being offered by religions. Why is it not being able to transform the lives of people? Because even religions are basically more spiritual, to do with the spirit. They're talking about a different paradigm, but what about you as an individual? And that is why Shunya is not a religious practice. It is a personal development practice to develop yourself, to be fearless, to achieve the maximum that you can from this life. So, practicing of Shunya in today's time is so important to have a very balanced mental health, so that you can achieve two things that you set out for. One is peace. Definitely, you want that, because at the end, whatever you do and you don't get peace out of it, it's all useless. So, peace is one. And then, second is prosperity, because you need to be successful in what you go for. Because you go out for doing something, and if you keep on failing, you will never feel prosperous. It is you just going down the drain. You need to achieve success, and that can happen with Shunya, because your Shunya sets you out that every time you fail, you see, when you practice Shunya, when you breathe in, breathe out, you sit there, you are going through an experience in the same act every day, a new experience. Because the previous one you're letting go, if it did not work out, you missed on account, you start practicing again. And the wonderful thing is, when you're doing a 99 to 0 count, I might miss a count at 88. But when I do that, you see, you will not miss at 88 the next time. You might miss at 67, because your mind gets so trained that you are aware that 88 is where I lose count. So from 89 to 87, you're always attentive, but you might miss at 67. But then you will not miss at 67. And over a period of time, from 99 to 0, you never miss a count, because at every count, you have achieved the state of awareness. This is what also brings you into a state where you are now able to manage all kinds of stress. So no need to pop in pills, no need to take in drugs, no need to depend on a third person like a baba or guru to help you relieve out of your stress. It's only you and you that can relieve your stress. It's only you that can relax yourself, and that is through the practice of Shunya. Faila.
Yes, sir. So I guess this answers our next question. The question was, why is Shunya such a easy and a sustainable solution for it? So, sir, I guess you answered that question. सर का यही कहना था कि मेंटल हेल्थ इज़ ऑफ कोर्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. आजकल जब ये वायरस का दौर चल रहा है, तो इस वायरस में हमें एक्चुअली फिजिकली इफेक्ट करने से ज़्यादा हमारे माइंड को ज़्यादा स्ट्रेस दे दिया है. देर इज़ फियर ऑल अराउंड. आई ऑलवेज यूज टू से दैट इन्फॉर्मेशन इज इंपॉर्टेंट, बट कीप द इन्फॉर्मेशन ओनली टू योर एजुकेशन पर्पज. डोंट लेट इट चेंज इन टू योर फियर. So similarly, वायरस नहीं हमें या देर आर मेनी अदर थिंग्स ऑल्सो हैपनिंग इन द वर्ल्ड जिन्होंने आज mentally, it has made a lot of people in the family itself very weak. And as brain is a organ, therefore its mental health is also very important. Shunya make sure that you look within yourself for releasing your stress. You don't depend, आप किसी और दूसरे चीज पे डिपेंड नहीं होते. आप खुद ही में वो सवाल ढूंढने की कोशिश करते हो, वो मोटिवेशन ढूंढने की कोशिश करते हो. आपको सेल्फ इंडिपेंडेंट बनने में हेल्प करता है वो. एंड डेफिनेटली इट हेल्प्स यू लर्न. आपके आपके बारे में आपको हर एक चीज नई सिखा देता है. सर ने ये बात जरूर कहा कि जब भी हम 99 टू 0 काउंट करते हैं, बिकॉज वी आर नॉट एक्सपर्ट्स, बिकॉज वी आर प्रैक्टिसिंग, हम सीख रहे हैं, तो कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि एक नंबर आगे पीछे हो जाए या एक नंबर हम भूल जाए. बट आर माइंड इज सो शार्प दैट जब आप नेक्स्ट टाइम वो करते हो प्रैक्टिस वापस से, तो इट मेक्स श्योर कि आप वो नंबर नहीं भूले. आप उसके आजू बाजू का या आगे का नंबर भूल सकते हो, बट वो नंबर आप नहीं भूलते. सो दैट इज द ब्यूटिफुल एस्पेक्ट ऑफ आवर माइंड. एंड हमें बस उस चीज़ को रियलाइज करना है, उसको पुट इनटू, यू हैव टू स्टार्ट पुटिंग इट इनटू प्रैक्टिस. उस पर बिलीव करना है और उसको प्रैक्टिस करना है. And that is how I guess mental health is important, and you will support your mental health with the practice of Shunya. Pradeep sir.
Dr. Shunya practices helps us to be aware about ourselves, our environment, and our life. And thank you, sir, for your insights and sharing your experiences.
Yes sir. So basically Shunya practice हर एक की जिंदगी में एक अलग अलग रोल प्ले करता है. Everyone has a different life. हर एक के प्रॉब्लम्स अलग है, हर एक के स्ट्रगल अलग है. फॉर मी पर्सनली, आई रिमेंबर आई हैव learn to acknowledge, and also has helped me gain gratitude towards life, that whatever I have in life, I have to be first happy with it, and then also take up new opportunities and new responsibilities. So I truly believe that experience ही हमारा best teacher होता है. और आज हमने आपके experiences से सीखा how you've been flourishing throughout the lockdown session, और हमने उससे सीखा. So thanks a lot sir for coming on our show, giving us your time. आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. You are always a constant encouraging support for us, and we wish you more peace and prosperity.
Thank you.
Sir, before you leave, would you like to speak a few words about this show?
Yes, sure. This is a very important show, Sunya Saga, because Saga, as I remember, Suji is telling me, it is about stories. And you see, every mythology or whatever you say, our ancestors have passed on information to us, and India is very well known for stories. You see, Mahabharata is the biggest epic story. Ramayana is the biggest epic story. Stories have built us these nations. Stories have built these nations, and if we are able to share our stories, and these are real stories, and these are real stories where your personal transformation is shared, it will inspire a lot of other people to practice. And when you understand that if this show is so important, I think one of the most important shows right now is about sharing your personal experience in something that you achieve nothing. Here you're not achieving anything, you're not trying to sell something, you're not trying to influence something, you're just trying to tell what you have achieved, what has happened to you, what transformation has happened to you because you started to do a simple practice of Shunya, how it started affecting. Now this is going to be very valuable, because at the end we will have enough testimonial to say that how a simple practice of sitting down, reverse counting, observing the breath can yet create such a profound change and order in our life. When people ask me, is it possible to bring such a change and order in your life with the practice of Shunya, I say you should always look at the crossroads where there is a signal with those three lights, just three lights, the red, the green, the orange. They can bring order into the chaos that is possible if they were not working. Same is with Shunya practice. A simple practice of Shunya sets out that light. You can see those systems of light on your crossroads of your life. So every time you will be able to navigate navigate your thoughts and everything very easily. But that has to be experienced, that has to be shared, and then this program will play a vital role in that. Yes, we would need it to have it in Hindi also, because that's where the community understands in India. We need to have it in local languages also. So maybe we'll have regional parts of this in different languages. But Shunya Saga should be one platform where we share experiences. And you both, yes, you both, I would say right now, I can validate, I can assure the audiences that these two are really genuine practitioners of Shunya. And right now, I got a message for Faila, for you. Dr. Lim just, happened to see us also, and he said that, wow, Faila looks so fresh now. And, that's good. And Pradeep looks so, at peace. And we have seen y'all, and we have seen y'all transform. I remember Pradeep, when he came, he's completely different now. I know you when you came, and you're completely different now. So all the caterpillars now turning into butterflies, and that's good. So keep flying, enjoy the garden. Okay, this life is so amazing, so amazing. Make the best out of it. With Shunya, you can.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your valuable advices. And this brings us to the end of the show with a small message that desire changes nothing, decision changes something, but determination changes everything. Also, my sincere thanks to Mr. Sujit Nair, PIC of Maharashtra and Gujarat, for helping us and supporting from the backstage for this amazing show. Thank you, Sujit sir. Thank you, Fahila ji. Thank you, Rajesh sir. And thank you, all the viewers. Keep practicing Shunya. Thank you.
थैंक यू सर. सो दिस ब्रिंग्स अस टू द एंड. एंड यहाँ पर जब राजेश सर ने ये बात कही कि जैसे सिग्नल पे एक क्रॉस रोड होता है, जैसे क्रॉस रोड्स पे एक सिग्नल होता है एंड वो ही 3 लाइट पूरी वो एरिया को ऑर्डर में लाने के लिए हेल्प करते हैं, वैसे ही हमारा एक छोटा सा सिंपल प्रैक्टिस ऑफ शून्य, जस्ट सिटिंग डाउन, फोकसिंग ऑन योर ब्रेथ, नॉट इवन डूइंग एनी मूवमेंट्स, इसी से आपके बहुत सारे जो ड्रीम्स है, बहुत सारे जो प्रॉब्लम्स है वो सॉल्व हो सकते हैं. सो थैंक यू सो मच. एंड एक काइंड रिक्वेस्ट फॉर एवरीवन कि हमारे महाराष्ट्र गुजरात DXN यूट्यूब चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें, फेसबुक पेज को लाइक करें, और अगर आपको शो से रिलेटेड कोई भी सजेशंस है या तो आप वो व्हाट्सएप नंबर जो दिए गए व्हाट्सएप नंबर पे आप वो शेयर कर सकते हैं हमारे साथ. थैंक यू ऑल द व्यूअर्स. आपने बहुत सारा प्यार और बहुत सारा सपोर्ट दिया फॉर आवर DXN सागा शो. वील ट्राई टू पुट इट इनटू नाइस प्रॉपर हिंदी आल्सो इन द फ्यूचर. एंड thanks a lot for our amazing management team, especially Mr. Sujesh sir, for encouraging us and supporting us. Thank you, Rajesh sir, for joining us. And this brings us to end. So take care, stay safe, keep practicing Shunya, keep consuming our DXN products, learning from your experiences. And good morning and take care.
Bye.
Take care.